shit.
Hey guys, welcome to another exciting edition of Just Incredible's Hardcore House Show. We are coming at you live, and
no volume right now.
looks like we have volume.
Oh,
yeah,
maybe you did.
We are working. Anyways, we're coming at you live as always, and we got so much stuff going on this week. News, late breaking stuff, exciting stuff that we're doing. So just really happy you could join us today, and here we go. We have a great show planned for you. Anyways, first off, we got some really sad news today. Really broke my heart. He's a good personal friend of mine, and just a legendary wrestler. Is Barry Windham is in critical condition in a hospital in Florida. Apparently he had a stroke, and his father, Blackjack Mulligan, another legendary Hall of Fame wrestler from WWE, went on Facebook and said that his son is pretty much, on his deathbed, which is something really sad, for, to report. I hope, that's not necessarily true, but from all indications, Barry's not doing real well. So, he's in intensive care. So, keep him in your prayers and your thoughts if you're into that kind of stuff. Barry Windham, if you,
pretty true to form too.
Yeah.
For Blackjack to say something.
For a guy like Blackjack Mulligan. So, anyways, thoughts and prayers are with Barry Windham and the, Blackjack and the whole family, and hope he pulls out of it. He was definitely one of the greats, and more importantly than that, just a stand-up guy and truly one of the boys. So, anyways, moving on to some, bigger and brighter things. I shouldn't say bigger, but brighter. Robert Roode finally realized his dream, I guess, and becoming the TNA or Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. Last night in Macon, Georgia, at the Coliseum there in Macon, for an Impact taping, he beat Cowboy James Storm in a match, and brand new World Heavyweight Champion, which quite frankly takes me by surprise, and it just goes to show you, and at least it does to me, TNA's booking kind of is trying to, they go above and beyond, the storylines are above and beyond trying to swerve fans. I think for no other reason. They had all intentions of giving Robert Roode the title, but I think to just swerve fans into basically not giving them what they think is going to happen. They swerved him and had Kurt retain the title, and they gave the belt to Robert Roode anyways. So I think that shows a real lack, in my opinion, of long-term planning and long-term storytelling, because you're really letting the fan, in essence, control your product. And I always thought it should be the other way around. Fans should have they certainly should have a voice and an impact on what is done. But I really think that, TNA going, way above to just to swerve for nothing but the swerve factor is poor booking, poor judgment, poor long-term planning, because Vince, that's one thing, who would never do that just to swerve the smart marks, so anyways.
Not only that, but I mean, you made two other guys in there.
Yeah.
First you made Roode look like shit.
Yeah.
By losing, not even getting rematch, right?
A horrible finish. Horrible finish. But they wasted all that good build and the tremendous storytelling that they put into that. It was actually very well built, and the payoff would have been beautiful of having him finally win the title. And instead, they do it in a TV taping, which still has some effect, but obviously not as much build. And it discredits the title, quite frankly, by that 1 week, 2 week title reign. It's that flip flopping.
175 here. I'm not really sure who that is. He told me a few minutes ago who it was. He just said the same thing. It totally discredits.
Yeah,
the title.
It completely does. And again, you're doing that small those 1 week, 2 week title runs, which really just it kills it for me. And the title should mean something. Pay-per-view main events. It's like, why buy the big pay-per-view main events when you could get the big title switches on the TV shows? Like I said, I just think you keep suckering fans, and to me that's a slap in the face to the fans. They pretty much paid, in my opinion, to see title changes and to see big things happen, and it would have just been a great way for them to go about it.
From time to time, you gotta drop out on a Monday Night Raw.
Once in a while, sure, and but it should be more of a long-term thing. They just book way too much on the fly for my taste, and just way too much all over the place, you know. And I just think they do that in order to cater to whatever fan base they think they have. But in my opinion, they end up turning off more people than they turn on. Anyways, more of the same stuff from Monday Night Raw. They did a 3.31 rating, which is up from the week prior. They did a 3.1. Let me look here. It's 4.9 million viewers as opposed to 4.5. So they gained 500,000 viewers, which is not a bad jump. Being that they had all kinds of competition, they certainly had the World Series and Monday Night Football. So that being said, it's a pretty decent number. And I believe, I just want to take a quick look to see if I'm not mistaken. I believe TNA's ratings were also slightly up. They were up from 1.3 to a 1.1. So TNA also doing a nice little jump, coming off their 2 weeks away from their pay-per-view. So ratings up all across the board for both major companies, which is positive. I think unfortunately pro wrestling right now is just really stuck and a little stale. Right now for WWE, I certainly think it's an exciting period heading into Survivor Series, and Rock coming back. I think that certainly has a lot of people buzzing, and certainly expect the ratings to go up. I say they go up a good half a point. I mean, that might be a little ambitious, but don't be surprised if you see Raw jump up to a 3.8, possibly into the fours, because Rock is just such a huge superstar outside of the wrestling business, just in mainstream entertainment, that I truly think he's going to make a big impact. I really do. And
no pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. And I also had something else, and I like what they're doing right now, because they're sort of teasing. I had a great point that I wanted to make, and I kind of lost myself here. They're teasing The Rock and John Cena. That's what I wanted to make a point of, teaming up. And I really think for the traditional Survivor Series match, I think they're going to do a Cena, Rock, CM Punk, and Randy Orton. That's the 4-on-4 Survivor Series team. I think they're going to go that route. I really do. Because Vince has always traditionally had the big superstars like Hogan and Randy Savage, or the Mega Powers Collide and stuff. They always had them in a tag team situation. It's WWE Booking 101. And then the one guy turns on the other heading into the big WrestleMania match. And I see no different coming into this one. I really see something like that happening at Survivor Series, where Rock and Cena are in the same ring as partners. Something goes down, and which makes them collide.
Raw this past week, didn't Cena say
that Rock was gonna. Oh yeah. But I think it's gonna. I think it's gonna come into an actual Survivor Series match, which makes sense.
Remember when it used to be all that?
Yeah, it was all Survivor Series matches, and that used to be a lot of fun. I used to love seeing that. And
the last time you saw a 10-on-10, no, I'm sorry, was it a 5-on-5 or 10-on-10 tag team match?
Well, for a lot of reasons, we don't see those because those are clusterfucks and a half. But
it was awesome.
It was awesome. You know what it is? I think it's just the appeal of seeing all those guys in the ring and all the possibilities. And if done correctly, especially towards the end, you can see. I mean, imagine 5 guys hitting finishers one after the other. One set comes in, boom, big finish, turn the guy around, another big finish. Whoa. Dropping stuff all over the place. Another big hit, boom. Just a ton of stuff. So I just think it creates good television. It creates great suspense, and I'm really looking forward to it.
For that.
What did I do? I hit something. God forbid. Anyways. Oh, and I really liked Monday Night Raw. I really liked Monday Night Raw, and I really enjoyed the Kevin Nash angle.
I didn't watch, actually.
What happened was, they obviously did their big, long opening segment, and the Johnny Laurinaitis thing, he came out, and they collided, but Hunter basically called out Kevin, said if your friendship means anything, come out and face me right now, kind of a thing.
I did see that.
Yeah, well, what happened was, as Hunter was facing off, I believe, I could be wrong, with Johnny Ace in the ring, Kevin came from behind, jabbed him with the sledgehammer, and they
Took
took it.
Reynolds to the hospital.
Well, he went down. He was hurt, but as they were taking him out in the stretcher, Kevin again ambushed him, picked him up off the gurney, which this to me was more brutal than anything else. And it wasn't. I don't think it was even meant this way. But Hunter was tied to the gurney,
Right.
and as he was tied to the gurney, he took a sledgehammer shot from Kevin, which was pretty much protected. That wasn't the big deal. But what the big deal was, fucking gurney falls as he's tied, so he pretty much takes a face plant in the cement. I think he hard-weighed himself because I don't think they were thinking ahead of time, But whatever. It was definitely great TV. I certainly enjoyed it. Very dramatic. And, shit, I felt for Hunter because I know he was fucking hurt. So, anyways, I really enjoyed it. And I'm not looking necessarily forward to the match as much as I'm looking forward to the build. And I think creatively, I talked to Sean Waltman today. He seems to think the same thing, that they have so many great ways they can go with the storyline. They could have a lot of fun. And it really surprised me. And I didn't mention this to Sean. And I wanted to buzz him about it. And I didn't, because we were just talking about a bunch of other personal stuff. But, it's not often that somebody speaks of another superstar in WWE and they're not in the company. So I found it very curious for Triple H to mention Sean Waltman's name in his interview, and Sean necessarily not having something to do with the company in one form or another. Obviously, for certain reasons, and I guess you all could guess it. They didn't mention Scott Hall's name. Speaking about Hunter was referencing the Click. I certainly I wasn't expecting my name certainly to be called out, but.
So.
Well, you always hope, but I was surprised, Scott wasn't. But that being said, it kind of, piqued my interest that they called out Sean Waltman's name, and I think you'll be seeing.
Is that a spoiler?
Well, I don't think it's a spoiler, but I would stay tuned. I think there's a lot more twists coming into that, and. We'll see where that goes. But anyways, wanted a quick rundown of Vengeance. I didn't necessarily see the entire thing, so I don't want to, say it was this great event. I saw, a couple of matches that I got from a friend of mine, and I'm going to do hits and misses on the show instead of running down the entire list because, it's Thursday. By the time, Sunday, that's 4 or 5 days, I'm sure you guys have heard and read everything there is, to know about the show. But my personal favorites, my hits on the show that I thought were successes, Big Show and Mark Henry. Again, those guys, they have no business having as good of matches as they've been having. I was never a fan of the big man match. Always hated them. I always hated to see two big guys clotting around the ring. Show is still, he's getting a little older, not over the hill by any means, but for somebody that big and with that giant size, that giant syndrome, it technically usually weighs pretty heavy on the bones and stuff. Your body can't sustain all that mass. And he's...
Although I will say, I think Henry's been around longer than him, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. But, both guys, Show seems to be in great physical condition. Henry certainly does as well, and they put on a really entertaining match.
That match caused the earthquake.
Yeah, right. But no, I mean, for two big guys, and like I was saying, I'm not a big fan of the big man match. But that being said, and with the gimmick, with the ring collapse thing, they haven't used it that much. I mean, I know it's been done before with Brock and Big Show, but it's not been done to death. It was only done one other time. And I think to me...
What year was that, 2000?
Oh, I don't know, 2002, 2003. So, I mean, hell, it's 7, 8 years ago.
You know how I know that.
Oh, you were there. But still, you pull it off once in a while. It's still very impactful, and it's still a shocking and awesome visual. So, whatever. I thought that was definitely a good match. Another match, Alberto Del Rio and John Cena. I thought they certainly put on a hell of a match, as they always do. Say what you will about John Cena. I know fans sometimes, are sick of him, sick of seeing him, sick of the push, sick of him being heavyweight champion. I get it. But he's a workhorse and consistently puts on good, if not great matches. And you got to give him props for that. Another good one, Air Boom against Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger. Good stuff. Good tag. And the singles match, Dolph Ziggler against Zack Ryder. Again, on my hits list. Dolph Ziggler right now, I'm not a big fan of his persona, of the gimmick. But as far as his work, I think he's the best bumping heel in the wrestling business right now. Yeah, and that says a lot. I think that's certainly something that I molded my career and when I was heavyweight champion and when I was having, those good matches and that string of title defenses, that was the kind of heel I was. And I think right now his work is impeccable, and I certainly will go, out on a limb and saying he's probably the best bumping heel in the business, period, right now. And that's saying a lot. I give him a lot of credit. He's certainly breaking through, and in the next couple of years, I think he's a major player. I just think that they really got to overhaul his gimmick because the work is there. He's a main event worker.
Mm-hmm.
His gimmick is the shit.
I can really see right now them transitioning him and Swagger into a tag team.
Yeah.
For a while. And
yeah.
when I say that, I mean a real tag team.
Sure, yeah.
Not
national
any
team.
of this garbage that we've had over the last couple of years where, great, now we got Rob Van Dam up there.
That's all right.
But, I just think that that's the way it's going to go with that. I think they're going to turn into,
Yeah, I think that would be good. Certainly, I would rather see him in that situation than see him in a shitty singles situation. But on my misses list on this pay-per-view, and I think this will kind of shock. Well, not shock, but I certainly saw this as being a hit. Was the CM Punk, Triple H, Miz, and R-Truth. I think Triple H, Miz, and R-Truth, that whole CM Punk thing, the two on the tag match, Punk, Triple H, Miz, R-Truth, they just said it, but I wanted to clarify it. I thought that match was just Monday Night Raw standard fare. I didn't feel it was pay-per-view. I didn't feel it was main event, and it didn't do too much to progress storylines. I still feel that both companies are guilty of giving more payoff on the weekly show than they do at pay-per-views. And I just feel that this match in particular didn't do any justice of being on pay-per-view. I just felt like it was an extended, longer version of a Monday Night Raw match.
Well, and this goes back to something you and I talked about a couple weeks ago. I have heard now the exact opposite of what we heard a couple weeks ago, where that channel that's coming out, instead of giving away the big four,
giving away all of them?
Everything else.
Yeah.
Except Big Four. So I can kind of see where it's going. You know what I mean? There's a correlation there.
Well, one more thing that I have to say, and I'll finish up with the pay-per-view wrap-up. Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Sheamus, and Christian fall, both matches, decent matches, nothing wrong with them, but they fall under that same thing. It's like you're watching SmackDown. It's like you're watching Raw. There was nothing special in any of it.
Why don't they do the squash match show anymore?
I don't know. And I would rather see a squash match show like back in the day, because I just truly think there's too much. They're so worried about ratings that there's too much good stuff given away on television. How much could you give them of the same match? It becomes not. I mean, basically, you get a sample of it. You get 5 or 10 minutes of it on Raw, and then you pay $50 to get the 20-minute version on pay-per-view. Dude, in this economy, I ain't paying $50 to get a 20-minute version of a match when I'll watch it for free for just shortened up. And that's it. And you're not even guaranteed the finishes you're hoping to see, the payoffs you're hoping to see. Like I said, if I paid $50, dude, I'd be pissed as fuck to watch Bobby Roode get screwed in a shitty finish against Kurt Angle to then to win the belt a couple of weeks later from his fucking ex-partner, and a shitty. It makes no sense. It's shitty business. And I had a big rant on Twitter earlier today about it. The wrestling business keeps shitting on fans, and they keep shitting on fans because we fucking allow it. Eventually, if fans stop tuning in, if fans stop buying tickets, eventually they will have to smarten up, and they will have to start, stepping up their game. We're all forced to step up our game. You know, we have to be creative, hit social medias, do web shows like I'm doing, like Pac's doing. You know, we have to do everything necessary to stay alive in this business. And I feel like, you know, TNA and WWE, they're just coasting because, oh, we're the only thing out there. The fans have no choice. So we give, you know, they got to eat the shit we fucking give them. Bullshit. You know, we have the power as fans, as viewers. And I am a wrestling fan. And I just don't think right now that they really are offering up the stuff that I'm going to dig into my pocket and pay $50 for. Believe me, there's a lot of pay-per-views out there, Dodine. Back in the day especially, where I felt compelled. I was like, dude, and I'm in the business. I want to pay.
Right.
I got to see what's going on. You know, and it's been a long time since I've had to, right, but even Mania, I could give, oh God, Afangul, I could care less. You know, and that's what's happening. But, all right, real quick, we're going to go away from...
Flair won the Rumble, dude. I mean, you know, come
on.
I mean,
Really. Yeah, that was a big fucking deal when Flair won the Rumble. Real quick, we're going to get into some questions. We're going to hit the Spotlight Match of the Week. One of my personal favorites, only because it has to do with me. No, but I like doing this because it gives us an opportunity here to reminisce and to kind of, you know, look back and to view a classic match of mine, you know, that the fans might be into. And this was certainly, I spoke to Lance Storm via Twitter last week. This is his favorite Impact player match ever.
Really?
Yeah. And it's my personal favorite. Paul Heyman also said it's one of his personal favorites. The Impact players against Gato and Jado from 1999 at the ECW Arena. And we played it. We had it up on Facebook for fans to watch, and it was just nothing special. It wasn't anything fucking crazy. It wasn't anything insane, but it was just a good classic tag team match that I mean, the fans, dude, it was like every little thing, boom, boom, oh, the atmosphere in that arena that night. It was like a punch. They were reacting to a punch. You know, it was like big oohs and ahs. So everything, like, I remember we did a simple spot where I surprised him with the super kick, you know, and after I hit the super kick, dude, that fucking arena, it felt like a world title change. Like, oh! You know, just like big pops after big pops. So we're going to go, if there's fans that have any questions, I'd love to start taking some questions from fans about what they think, you know, about the match. About this match. You know, if they went back on Facebook and they saw it. I'm very curious to see.
Some guys are actually watching it now.
Oh, okay. Well, what do you think? I want to hear it.
The match is old school, reminded me of the Midnight and Rock and Roll Express matches.
Yeah. It was definitely of that era. Not of that era, but it was 99, so.
Who booked that match? Was that Paul?
Paul booked the actual match, but Lance and I put it together.
And then, I mean, did Paul do the finish on it?
Oh, no. No, Lance and I always did every finish of our matches.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, we always had...
I mean, did Paul tell you who was going over that?
Basically, Paul had a list of the matches, and PJ, Lance, you're up. That's it. So we put all those... we always had the freedom to put our own stuff together and the intricacies of the matches. So, yeah, it was all us, you know?
Have you ever worked with them before or after that match?
Lance had worked with them in Japan.
Okay.
Prior, he had done, him and Jericho had worked with them in Japan. But not Lance and I, no. And that was the first time I had worked with them. First and only time, I should say, we ever worked. It was a one-off. And those guys were just phenomenal workers. They worked good American style, good Japanese style. It's a shame that match actually went relatively short, because it was billed for TV time, and the version that they showed on TNN was not the original version, because obviously they edited it down. It was maybe a 12, 13-minute match, and realistically, you know, we could have gone 20 to 30. But it was very reminiscent of old school Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express, just quick, you know, the tags in and out. And you got to understand, the arena popped like that, and they'd never seen these guys before. They're virtually, you know, just Japanese wrestlers coming and being seen for the first time in the ECW arena in Philadelphia against the established tag team.
So this was a TNN match, right?
This was a TNN match, yeah. But it shows what ECW was at the time, that fans in that era were educated enough to appreciate two Japanese wrestlers coming in from another country for their first ever tag team match, their first ever exposure on national television in the United States, and getting the response that they got, just as international superstars. But it was really entertaining.
A couple questions coming up
yeah,
now.
Please.
Number one, was there a language barrier between you and them?
Absolutely not. I mean, they speak very little to no English.
Really?
Yeah, but it's just amazing how wrestling transcends languages. It's amazing. You can talk to any Japanese wrestler and you tell them duck the clothesline, this or that. They know, because wrestling is that general language, and everybody understands it. So yeah, you pretty much you can't understand a word the other's saying, but when it comes to wrestling, it all kind of fits in, and we speak the same language, and we just got it. Once you're in it for that long, and you're as good as those guys are, and as good as not to toot my own horn, but as good as we were, we just got it. It just gels.
Were they stiff? I mean,
no, absolutely not.
Guys,
they were not stiff at all. They were very, very pleasant to work with.
This is a really good question. I'm sorry, it's a little bit off topic, but
yeah.
How did you and Lance become the Impact players?
How did we become the Impact players?
I think you may have mentioned it a lot.
I really don't know. I just remember Paul being very curious about us having the history that we had going back to the Hearts in Calgary, and the fact that I started my career up there with Lance. And he just felt, they were in search of tag teams. He felt that,
Impact or something like that. That's where it came from.
Jericho and Lance were called that.
Right.
And it was a take on that. And he felt that we could just be that quick tag, not a traditional sense of rock and roll or midnights, but he felt that we could take two different styles, combine them into one cohesive package, and it just worked. It gelled. I mean, to me, it was for a team that didn't get the long run like a lot of teams got in the 90s, we made as much of a statement as a lot of other teams. I've been told that we were one of the top 5 tag teams in the entire 90s. And I don't know if that's true or not, but a lot of fans tend to argue that, and oh hell, why not? I will too.
We're getting told we need a better camera.
Yeah, we always do.
Okay. So, speaking of that, who was the stiffest in ECW for you?
Stiffest?
Yeah.
Rob Van Dam.
Really?
Yeah, RVD. Absolutely. Rob being one of the nicest guys on the planet, a good friend, was probably one of the stiffest guys in the entire locker room. He'll kick you right in the face. And he's good enough and accurate enough that he would clip you right in the fucking mouth too. But yeah, Rob was definitely up there. Certainly was.
I'm not seeing any more questions on.
All right, well, let's move on. Thank you guys, by the way, for checking in for the Spotlight match of the week. We're definitely going to put up another match. I'm curious. Drop us a line on Facebook and let us know if you want to see ECW Classic or something out of the WWE library or an indie match. We always try to switch it up. I just don't want it to be an ECW revival on the Spotlight match of the week. So let me know anything you want to see, or if you want to see a different match. If you guys want to see, want all of us to review a classic old school match from NWA or WWE, drop us a line. Maybe we could all vote on and throw something into a pool and spotlight a completely different match that has nothing to do with Just Incredible, and we'll discuss that. I think that's fair enough to say, right?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on real quick. We are hitting the Indie Spotlight of the week, and this week's Indie Spotlight is a promotion. Of course, I got to plug promotion that I'm working for this weekend, October 29th, 7:30 p.m. in Hartford, Connecticut. at Nomads Entertainment Center. Actually, the address is South Windsor, but it's right outside of Hartford, Connecticut. And it is called New England Rage Wrestling. Their website is www.neragewrestling.com. And it's a promotion that's doing a tribute to the troops. Now, the promoter, Jamie McGee, who is a good personal friend of mine, has done tremendous work working with the armed forces and all kinds of other nonprofit organizations to really do something for our men and women in the armed services. I mean, he is absolutely fantastic. Very selfless, doesn't make a penny out of this, believe me. You know, he does this for the right reasons. Totally supports our troops and puts on a really, really good, entertaining wrestling card. Very family friendly. Ticket prices are certainly affordable. I think as high as ticket is $25, if I'm not mistaken, for for front row. I don't. Do you have any updates on what the card is? I know I'm certainly going to be there. Just
yes.
Incredible.
Main event of the night.
Okay.
Will be Rob E.
Okay.
Who is Rob Echoes.
Okay, Robbie E. from TNA.
Yep, and also from the local. I mean,
yeah.
He's been doing the main.
Yeah.
Chaotic.
Yep.
For years.
Okay.
He's taking on
Luke Robinson.
Luke Robinson.
Okay.
From Tough Enough.
So it's those two guys.
The main event. Yeah.
So Robbie E. against Luke Robinson, so TNA's Robbie E. against Luke Robinson from Tough Enough. That'll be the main event.
The second main event of the night is some guy named Justin Credible.
Okay, so main event, second main event, Justin Credible against. I forgot.
Joseph Von.
Oh, Von Schmidt.
Von Schmidt.
Okay, so Justin Credible versus Joseph Von Schmidt. Luke Robinson from Tough Enough against Robbie E. from TNA. So those are the top two matches.
I know Sanjay Dutt.
Sanjay Dutt's going to be there. Okay, Sanjay Dutt's also going to be there. Cool.
I don't know who the guy is, but he's got a skeleton mask type gimmick.
Oh, is that Knock?
No, it's not Nocturne.
Not Nocturne? Okay.
But it's something similar to that.
Okay.
And that was really all I recognized from the show. There were a bunch of
other locals.
Yeah,
oh, good.
Local
Good. Well, so far, guys, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to run that by you. Main event will be Robbie E. from TNA versus Luke Robinson from Tough Enough. That's the first main event.
Apparently, you got some guys here that know Von Schmidt.
Yeah. Wow. And the second.
He's not really German. He's Polish.
Well, the second half of the main event will be Justin Credible, me, against Joseph Von Schmidt, which tends to be an interesting matchup. So, and plus many others. It'll be a great night. I know these guys do a top-notch show. They have the whole lighting, Tron, and stuff like that. And it's a great organization to check out. It's www.nerage.com. Tribute to the troops. It's definitely worth your while, guys. If you live in the Hartford, Springfield, Massachusetts area, anywhere around here in Connecticut, definitely worth your time. It's going to be a great night. Please check it out. If anybody has any questions or comments, please feel free. And before we move on, we're going to see, do we have anything else regarding the indie show?
Yeah, a lot of questions coming through.
Well, let's hit
them up, though.
Well, I'm gonna finish up what I have to say.
No. For you.
Okay, go ahead.
The other day we were talking about John Cena a little while ago.
Yeah, speak up. We've had some complaints about people not being able to hear you.
I'll get a microphone.
Okay.
You don't want that. A couple days ago, we heard some stuff on here. And we were talking a little bit a while ago. John Cena.
Yeah.
Didn't you have a little angle going this past weekend related to his father?
Oh, we did. We had an angle to where a certain guy got fined, a certain amount of money, and I basically stepped in for John Cena Sr. to collect the bounty on the money. And, the guy didn't have them, it's some bullshit angle, and I kicked him in the face. Something like that. Yeah.
It's pretty good. I
kind
of enjoyed that.
Yeah, and, one thing I didn't like was the guy I was working the angle with took a shot at Razor. And it seems like, people, I hate when in the indies, and, hopefully you fans can stick with me on this, indie jabrones tend to run their mouths on great wrestling stars that are down on their luck because they figure, well, I'm an indie jabron And I'll never run into these guys in my life, and I'll talk shit about you while you're down on your luck. Well, let me tell you something. That's what this kid did that I did the angle with. And he said some fucking comments about Scott that really pissed me off.
Yeah.
You know, and the fans kind of picked up on it. And it's like, dude, you know what?
Too soon.
Too soon, A, but you only do that because you will never meet Scott. And if you were ever in the same room with Scott Hall, I guarantee you Scott's worst day, all fucked up, will bitch slap you and kill you with one arm tied behind his back. And it just bothers me that people, these indie fucking backyard jabrones, will take shots at legitimate legends and superstars in this business because they'll never see them, or they'll never run into them. It's just, it's not right. It's not cool. And if you're gonna do something like that, you should do it a little more tastefully, or at least ask, because Scott's not there to defend himself. Talk about me. You want to talk shit? Call me a has-been. Call me washed up. Call me a drug addict. Whatever. But don't say that to somebody who's really going through a hard time, and he'll never be able to defend himself. You're getting a cheap pop from the fans, and you're really showing that you're a fucking coward. You know, because believe me, if Scott Hall was in that locker room, you would not even say a word, and you would say please and thank you. You know what I mean? And it just bothers me that people take those cheap shots, because without guys like Scott Hall, you would not be anywhere today. Guys like Scott changed this business. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash changed the business the day they showed up on Monday Nitro. Okay? And they ended up getting guaranteed money for a lot of people, and they made a lot of people rich because they changed the structure of the wrestling business. And people don't really, you know, guys and fans really don't understand it, and they don't get it because they weren't on the inside. But if it wasn't for Scott and Kevin making those moves, guaranteed money would not be so today. Because before, we all worked, I don't know if you fans are familiar with it, we worked on a percentage. We got a percentage of the gate, you know. Now we get paid on guaranteed contracts. But before that, before Scott and Kevin made the jump to Nitro, you know, wrestlers were really getting dicked for money. And they were the ones, you know, that started the guaranteed money thing. You know, where guys got paid like professional athletes, where the wrestlers got paid like NBA players, like NFL players, and got guaranteed money. So Scott and Kevin paved the way for a lot of people to get rich. And we seem to forget that. So just know your roots, know where you came from, and, you know, don't be scumbags about shit like that. It really bothers me. You know, people forget to pay their respects to some of the greats, you know, and I never forgot it. And, you know, I hope you guys, you know, some of the boys down there, you guys remember it too, you know. But anyways, I'm going to take a lot of questions. I'm going to try to cap off the last 20 minutes of this show and take all the fans' questions, take as many questions as we can. But I've been doing this thing on Facebook related to the show and related to all the other social media that I do. I'm thinking of changing my music. And we've had some stuff up on Facebook kind of hinting to people and telling people, you know, trying to play a little contest kind of seeing what it is and if I should do it in the first place. So tonight, right after this broadcast of Just Incredible's Hardcore House Show, on my Facebook page, facebook.com/RealJustIncredible, we're going to reveal what the theme song is of my new entrance. And I want to get everybody's opinion on it because it's something, you know, with the resurrection of the character and the rebirth, so to speak, I want to kind of change, you know, and not be necessarily a retro character. I want Just Incredible to be, you know, to freshen up and to come into, you know, into today's wrestling. So it's just an idea to change the music. I want to see what you fans think and to see if that's the avenue we're going to go with. So tune into my Facebook page and definitely find out what the song is, and I want to know what you guys think of it. So that being said, I also want you guys to go to my Facebook page, same thing, Real Just Incredible on Facebook, and go under the notes section. I'm doing this really cool thing. It's called the Tell 5 campaign. And basically, in order to do this show, we're trying to grow viewers. And tonight, we have the biggest audience that we've had, although it's a, you know, very modest audience. it's still this show has been the highest rated show we've had as far as viewers, the biggest amount of viewers we've had, and we're trying to build on that every week. And every week we slowly are getting more and more viewers. So with the Tell 5 campaign from our good friends at Wrestling Relations over in Chicago, Tim and Doug, they're helping us out with this. We want you to basically, either retweet or basically it's telling your friends and networking to get the Just Incredible brand out there. So definitely please check this out, because it will help the quality of this show, because what we're trying to do is get special guests on the show. We're trying to do all kinds of different things with this broadcast for the fans that enjoy it. So in order to do that, we really need you guys to stay true to us. It doesn't cost you a dime. Just go to the notes section of my Facebook page at facebook.com/RealJustIncredible, and you'll see all you need to know about the Tell 5 campaign. It's really easy, and if you want to be part of something, be part of this, man. You won't regret it. So anyways, we're gonna take some questions and finish the night off with that. Let's rock and roll, Dean.
You owe everybody a Jim Molyneux story right now.
I know. And Jim Molyneux actually got a hold of me through Twitter this week, and he mentioned something to me. And to be honest, I knew this was going to happen, and I knew I was going to get hit up with this today. But I truly, and I'm not going to waste anybody's time with it, I truly do not have a Jim Molyneux story to tell. And we thought about it, and even Jim and I kind of, shot back and forth. I don't have anything, I'm not going to waste anybody's time. I don't have a big story to tell. Jim Molyneux is a dear friend of mine, but I have nothing, noteworthy to say, so I'm not going to waste anybody's time with it. So I don't have a good story for you guys. I am sorry. Maybe Jim could call me up personally and he could remind me of something, but I don't have anything for you. Sorry.
One of my good friends, Taz.
Yeah, Taz.
Obviously, Taz and I are good friends.
Yeah.
Did you ever face Taz?
I worked with Taz one night, and it was a three-way, and I never touched Taz. Actually, no, I did touch Taz. I tapped out to the Taz mission, but prior to that, we didn't have any contact in the match. So yeah, it was a one-time thing at the ECW arena. It was a three-way dance, and Taz, all he had to do was, I think I went for a leapfrog. He got up behind me and hit the Taz mission, and that was it.
Is there a reason behind that, or?
I don't know. Probably. Who knows?
You're right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, probably there is. He was just over with Paul, so.
Oh yeah.
He could do whatever the hell he wanted, and even in WWE.
Yeah. Well, I was over with Paul too. I think the purpose was Paul was probably trying to save the matchup. He did that a lot. He tried to save me and Van Dam from ever facing off until the right time, and he might have been doing that with Taz and I. It just never came to fruition. So.
Understood.
Yeah.
Speaking of Paul.
Yes.
Do you ever speak to him?
I don't speak to him. Not that there's any heat or anything. He's just doing his own thing, and I'm doing mine. And I'm actually, if his cell phone number is the same, which I believe it is, I should drop him a line. Not that he'll get back to me, but
I will. Again, Paul and I are friends as well.
Yes.
This is a silly question here, but I'm gonna read it as it is.
Yeah, sure.
So say, Justin,
keep it volume up. Can't hear you over.
Did Paul you made the idea to throw the ECW belt down, or could you have found another partner so you could keep the titles
for the tag team?
Yeah.
It wasn't an issue of that. I think the issue was that I just was in control of that, because Lance actually stayed long enough to drop the belt. It was just a way of me showing my bravado and saying, these titles are less than I am. You know what I mean?
Didn't you drop because you won the world title?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no. I didn't. I had the title. I had the tag team title, but I said I don't want it anymore. I'm sick of being that. I want that. And it was before I actually won it.
Oh, okay.
It was that night. It was the night I threw down the tag team titles was the night I won the heavyweight title. But it was more like I denounce it. I don't want this garbage because I want that. More of a thing.
This is from Six Pac, not Six Pac, but Six Pac.
Okay. What's up?
Do you think that WWE will consider Scott for the Hall of Fame?
I don't think so, unfortunately. I just don't see. I just don't see it. Maybe perhaps if Scott gets his life in order, he deserves it. He certainly was right in the middle of all that great you know Monday night television that made the business what it is. Does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Absolutely. Absolutely. Who more than Scott Hall deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? But will they? Not in the foreseeable future, unfortunately.
What's your favorite rib that you have pulled?
That I have pulled?
Or
I'm not.
Part of?
I'm really not big on ribs. Only because I got ribbed so fucking bad when I was young that I don't like doing it to other people. Only because I didn't like the way it felt when it was being done to me. But I personally liked the wake up call rib, or the pretending like you're housekeeping, or like you're the restaurant calling up at 4 a.m. trying to confirm somebody's breakfast to be delivered to their room.
Who was it that did that?
Owen Hart. Owen Hart used to always do that, night in and night out. You'd fly in, from being on an overseas flight. You'd hit the hotel in Germany, and then there's Owen with a shitty German accent. Hello, housekeeping. You want scrambled eggs? At 4 a.m. or some ungodly hour, and he would rib himself, stay up all night, but to call everybody on the roster. You get a sheet, with all the names of everybody, and he'd basically go down the list of everybody he'd rib himself to rib others. Great guy, hilarious.
Who gave you the Aldo Montoya gimmick?
The WWE office. Their creative department came up with it before they even had me. They had that in mind for a couple of years before they had me. So.
Was the Portuguese audience big at that point?
It wasn't the Portuguese audience. It was the Brazilian audience. Brazil is 75% of South America, if you look at it geographically. Yeah. And Brazil, that's the native language, is Portuguese. So they wanted...
They've had problems with that before, where they just don't understand...
Yes.
That, like,
yeah.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I've seen it happen quite a few times.
Yeah.
Where, Brazil speaks Portuguese.
Yes.
But they're not Portuguese.
Right, and that's kind of what happened.
So, having the Brazilian Man of War, which, obviously isn't for, there's nothing...
Right. Well, the Portuguese Man of War would have worked. It just didn't click. And we ended up, the biggest thing is we never ended up going to Brazil. And we're still not in Brazil to this day.
Really?
Yeah. Something happened down there, and they're actually, because UFC and mixed martial arts is so huge in Brazil, and that's where a lot of it stems from, that they're actually still trying to crack the television clearances down there, or the proper clearances to get down there. So it still hasn't come to fruition, and I bet you if it did, they'd probably call me up to this day to be the Portuguese ambassador and to speak it, because that's how big of a market it is.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Are you huge down there? Like if you walked down the streets, did everybody know who you were?
Oh, me personally, no. But the fact that I could communicate with their own would be, the way I could speak to them the way I'm speaking to you in English, which is why they anticipated the clearances to come, and it just never did for whatever reasons. But I think it would be huge. It'd be, something similar to Davey Boy Smith in England at the time, or having, somebody, the reason they have the Great Khali for India, and they've always been very regional minded with certain superstars. So, I still see that being a possibility. So.
Are you planning on getting an official site with an online store?
I certainly am. We are looking into that now. Actually, I'm thinking this is something that X-Pac and I were talking about today. We spoke for well over an hour today on the phone, and one thing that he does that I'm going to start doing, which I thought was pretty neat and unique, is video autographs. I always thought that was really cool, and that's basically like for whatever, if I charge $20 or $30 or whatever it would be, you cut a specific, like a promo almost, a video greeting for birthdays, anniversaries, or even just a goof on your friends, whatever, you know what I mean? And I'm going to be doing that through Facebook, actually, starting right now. If anybody's interested, just go to facebook.com/realjustincredible. But that's neither here nor there. We're going to, We are going to start up an online site, a .com, very shortly, with a full merchandise page as we progress, probably by the end of the year, realistically. But yeah, thank you very much. Definitely looking into that.
You said prosthetic leg was your favorite weapon.
Yes.
What was the best sign you ever saw from a fan?
Oh God. I think somebody had like a slippery when wet sign. I just thought that was kind of neat, you know. But we got so many signs, who fucking knows?
Was it there for Beulah?
Yeah, all right. Wish. Anyways.
Do you think that you could write some good storylines?
Yeah, I think I certainly could. I don't think that's my strong point, but sure, anybody in the wrestling business could certainly write storylines. I could certainly contribute, put it that way. Well, what's so funny? What do you got?
Were you there when Sean Waltman shit in Sable's bag?
Yeah, I was at the arena that night when Waltman did that, yeah. But I can't say neither here nor there if he did it or not. Because I know Sean watches the show, so sorry, Sean. I'm not a stooge, dude.
Sorry, man, I had to crack up that one.
Yeah, I'm not a stooge.
Somebody wants to know who is hosting with you.
Who's hosting with me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's my producer and my agent, Dean Wentworth. Formerly was employed by WWE as an assistant producer of television. So, yeah, that's who does the show with me. That's fucking hilarious. No, Sean, I'm not a stooge, so don't call me up. I don't want to heat. You're going to get me in trouble, dude. Fuck. All right, let's wrap it up. We got 9 minutes to go, guys. It's been a great show so far, so I don't want to slow it up. We're getting towards the end here. They're on the home stretch. Let's get some banging questions.
What do you think about the WWE Network? Will it turn to MTV with no shows about what made it good?
Yeah, probably. Probably. I have a feeling that the WWE Network... No, I don't think that. I realistically think it'll be good. But I do think they'll stray away from the fact, and they will probably put on a bunch of reality shows.
Well, did you hear about the reality?
Yeah, I heard about the reality show, about the Legends reality show, kind of like a Surreal Life, where they put a bunch of legends in a house and let them go wild. I mean, it's whatever. It's cool. I would pay to see it. Yeah, I think it's fucking hilarious. Would I work it? Yeah, of course I would work it. Well, fucking whore. Of course I would. No, but I mean, I think that would be fun. But that being said, I think they should keep it to the format of what their Classics on Demand is. I think that would be cool. I think their Classics on Demand is awesome, and I think they should kind of keep it around that. You know what I mean? Something similar to that. Stay true, to that videotape library that they have every pretty much everything that counts under the sun with pro wrestling. So yeah.
Just some interesting questions here. Dude, what do you think of Beavis and Butthead?
Beavis and Butthead? Dude, I was super happy that they came back. I think it's going to be hilarious. Yeah, it starts tonight, actually. I think it's on tonight at 10 o'clock, Beavis and Butthead on MTV, yeah. I think that's fucking genius. And plus, dude, just Beavis and Butthead goofing on Jersey Shore is hilarious. I think it's going to be fucking awesome, dude. I think we definitely use another generation of Beavis and Butthead. So, a couple more questions. I'm going to wrap it up, guys.
Give me your thoughts on Tommy.
Tommy Dreamer?
Worker.
Tommy Dreamer is a great worker. Tommy Dreamer is a great worker. Tommy Dreamer has a great mind for the business. One of the all-around most unselfish guys I've ever worked with. Gave me so many opportunities to shine in this business. And to this day, he was the one who personally took a chance on me when a lot of people wouldn't, and called me in for the TNA Hardcore Justice pay-per-view when it was, people didn't know if I was all fucked up or not. He took a chance and called me. He's always believed in me. Gave my wife a job for many years in ECW, heading up merchandise. So Tommy is always considered a friend, and even besides friendship, pure talent-wise, tremendous talent. Had some of my best matches with him. As good as they get. As good as they get.
I wish we would have known last weekend ahead of time that they were heading down to Philly.
Yeah, I would have loved to have gone to catch the Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah. All right, one last question, guys, before we head out.
What did you think of Memphis when you worked in Memphis?
I was amazed at how shitty that wrestling was. You know, I always thought at Memphis, you know, the rich tradition and stuff that goes with Memphis wrestling. And by the time I got down there, it was nothing like that. It was just real shitty, real jabron, almost. You know, a couple hundred people a night. You know, in major arenas. Like we were at the Louisville Gardens, a famous arena in Louisville, Kentucky, and we were at a 5,000 seat arena drawing 150, 200 fans. You know, so it was real shitty and kind of sad, but an experience nonetheless. I'm glad I did it. I wouldn't want to do it again, but I'm really glad I did it. So, unless we got a banging question,
yeah, we do have one more.
All right, give me one more.
How did you enjoy your interview on with Abe on Howard 101?
I really enjoyed it. There were really cool guys. Abe Cannon coming out of Chicago on Howard's 101, Sirius 101. Really cool people. Great show. I had a great time. They were very kind to me and treated me really well. So yeah, top notch. But anyways, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Once again, another great episode of Just Incredible's Hardcore House Show. I hope you guys come and join us next week. Today we had the most viewers out of any episode so far in the short history of Hardcore House Show. So a quick list of plugs. Follow me on Twitter. That's twitter.com/PJPolacco, Facebook.com/RealJustIncredible, and YouTube.com/RealJustIncredible. Once again, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Please go to Facebook.com/RealJustIncredible and check out the Tell 5 thing, that the Tell 5 campaign that I'm talking to you about. Go to the notes section. It'll tell you all about furthering the cause and the resurrection of Just Incredible. We can't do it without you. You guys are the ones that make it possible, so I really thank you and appreciate everything you guys do. We're going to try in the next upcoming weeks. Like I said, I talked to X-Pac today. We're going to try to have Pac come in and do something with us, whether it's via, you know, radio or satellite video, something. We're going to get him on the show. I know he's not going to be here in person, but we're going to definitely have him contribute. He likes what we do. He watches the show weekly. So I want to thank you guys again. And, you know, the show wouldn't be great without you. And I'll see you guys next week. Thanks a lot, guys.